Better Devils isn't really getting the respect it deserves, or I should say where it deserves. I love it. It definitely has a place, and I'm going to show you that. I've focused well over 200 of them, and I still don't have the perfect one, but I'm close. After playing with it, it's in one of those situations where a great PvE weapon is locked behind playing the Crucible. It's very good in PvE, guys. When it comes to the Crucible, though, it needs very specific things, and when it gets those specific things, it can and does compete. I'm going to show you that, even comparing it to some of the top options. There's a lot to talk about today, but before we do, a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Geologie. I've recently decided to start deliberately taking better care of myself, and as you guys know, the past 3 months have had a lot going on. And there's some things that you can't do anything about, but there's a lot of things that you can. I was lucky enough to find a channel partner in Geologie who helped me understand that committing to better skin doesn't have to be difficult. A lot don't know where to start or how to go about a skincare routine, and everyone has their unique needs when it comes to skincare. Could be some darkness under your eyes, acne, overall skin health. And simply, you don't have to keep walking around feeling like a leather couch. Geologie has your back. I took a 60-second quiz, answered some questions about my goals, and they developed a simple and effective personalized routine delivered right to my door. And that's what's great about it. The routine is tailored to you. And I know you guys like stats. It's the People's Proven Skincare with over 10,000 5-star reviews. Geologie's been the best in the skin and hair game with 35 prestigious awards, including nods from Men's Health and Oprah Daily Grooming Awards. And it's clear that Geologie is changing the game and changing minds, including mine. This isn't just about looking good and feeling good, it's about delivering real results. And that's what Geologie does. So please start taking better care of yourself today. At the top of the description, click the link and use my code and grab 70% off of your personalized skincare trial set. And remember, there's also that 50% off of add-ons waiting for you at checkout. And thanks again to Geologie for sponsoring today's video. So how do you get it? You play PvP, that's it. It can drop after a match. Most of the time, you're gonna be getting Ingrams. You collect those Ingrams, you can focus the Better Devils one at a time. The more resets that you get, the more perk options you're gonna get, like triple perks in each column. One of the best things they could have done is bring it back a strand. Actually, that's the best thing they did for it. It's what makes Better Devils work. Some of the updated aesthetics, bright glowing green magazine. The back of the hand cannon has like a similar fluid style bar matching an Omelon weapon. As you shoot it, it gets lower. We have one quiet moment as an origin trait. You get plus 20 handling, 40 reload, and a 0.95 reload multiplier, a scalar, while out of combat. So you need to be out of combat for 5 seconds. That's defined as having dealt or received damage. It also has Nadir Focus. And a reminder here with the community note. Sustained fire increases accuracy and range. It works the same exact way as DSR, Dynamic Sway Reduction. And each weapon archetype's values are going to be different. I'm not sure the value of a hand cannon, but I assume that the hand cannon gets more stacks. It is immediate, so shot 1, 2 range, 1.5 decrease accuracy cone size. So little range, little accuracy as you're firing the weapon. The more you fire, the better that origin trait gets. Base stat wise, it's behind. I mean, look at this chart. Even with the help that it got, it needs very specific things from there. And I'll show you those things as I go on through the review. And this is the PvP weapon, so that's where I'm going to start. Stat wise, it closely resembles Nation of Beasts. Now, Nation, a lot better. And on Better Devils, you can squeeze stats out of it. It's one of those mega perk pool weapons. 12 perks in each node, 24 total. I'm going to be talking about some of them, not all of them, just the important ones. So I'm going to start with the Crucible, what it needs, and at the end talk about PvE, and PvE is very simple. I've used a ton of rolls on it, tons of combinations, and I feel pretty strongly about this. It needs 70 plus range. 70 I felt is the sweet spot. It hits 65, 60, and just well below that most of the time. 70 is going to involve a range match to work and accurized. Every single roll below 70 did poorly for me. Every one. It didn't matter the perk combination. The perk combination couldn't save it because in the sandbox, meta weapons are out there, various ranges are in play for players. So the base 40 range starts at 29.4 meters. 60 range gets it to 32, 70 gets it to 33.5. And there's a big difference as you start going up for that base 40 range. And the 33.5 felt competitive. These max out at around 39 or so. And as far as what it needs beyond that to help it compete versus the other heavy hitters, a combination that's been talked about is Perfect Float Zen Moment. And not only is this the only hand cannon in the game to have this, I believe it's actually the only weapon in the game to have this combination. It's special with what it can do. Perfect Float, you be in combat for 6 seconds, you get 30 AE and 35% flinch resist for 10 seconds. This is paired with Zen Moment. As you're shooting, you get flinch resist, reduced reticle bounce, and shake. Super stable. It's like a rock, very fun to play with. It's as advertised when you get it going. But as I started with, the range needs to be there. I got a couple rolls with it and I maxed out at 60, and I found myself losing because it was getting fall off earlier than some other rolls and other hand cannons. Just falling short. Now, that's me personally. I mean, yeah, you can try to play your range a little bit better. The combo is good. And if this had 70 or above, I would be using it more. I'm still looking to try it. I'm still looking for it. But this is a defining combination for Better Devils. Everything has to fall in line, though. And it's important to remember the perks can be enhanced. And Perfect Float's one of the better enhanceable perks. You stay in combat for 6 seconds, you get the perk for 10. Enhanced, you get it for 12. And if you have it with Zen Moment Enhanced is a passive +5 stability. I've seen a lot going for moving target explosive payload. That's great, nothing wrong with that. Enhanced gives a little bit more aim assist to the +10, so moving target gets it to 85. You get the strafe scaler, a little bit more with Enhanced. And payload, it's great to pair with the sniper. It's great to keep damage at a distance. I've tried things like air trigger kill clip, because why not? Fast reload after the kill. And kill clip on a 140, I have an IS Luna with kill clip that I enjoy. It's really good for 6s. I enjoy it for 6s because the shot goes up to 101 damage, and that does a lot of things. One, in a team shot setting, it's great. But mostly, especially on a hand cannon like this that has struggling starting range, it helps your distance shots. It helps the 3 taps further than it should. So kill clip could be something to play around with. You can mess with things like hatchling, and hey, at one point, I would have said that this is a good option. When it came out, it was great. But the sins of class abilities have obliterated it. You couldn't just stop perching them on the Warlock with a tier 10 Rift, or max mobility spamming out clones, could you? You're the problem. No, I'm just kidding. But this perk is nerfed because of all that, and that's okay. But you might find an explosive roll is Zen roll opening shot that calls to you, but by far, due to its stat package, my favorite roll has perpetual motion. Now, perpetual motion on a hand cannon, kinda rare. I mean, think of how many hand cannons are in Destiny 2. It feels like there's hundreds of them, but only 9 have it. Rose has it. DFA, Nation of Beasts, I talked about that earlier. But something like Perpetual Motion really helps this one, its stat package. Like take this roll. It's 70 range with Perpetual Motion and Elemental Capacitor, and Elemental Cap can get more stats when it's enhanced, but this roll I've tried with the Void Super, so that gives the +20 stability. Add in Perpetual Motion ×2. This is 70 range, 82 stability, 60 handling, 60 reload. A totally different weapon. And I've talked about this before with anything that you use. Like as long as you can do things like this, as long as you can track well, as long as you can hit heads, that's all that matters. And this is getting a little bit better competitive range, that 34-ish meters. It is very stable. Got a fast reload, the handling's a lot better. And a roll like this kind of changes my mind on it. It shows me that it can be good. But a lot of things, everything have to fall in line. And I look back at a lot of this gameplay, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, really, it feels good. It's really stable, the reload, all of it. Also, on arc, I mean, that's 70 range, 100 handling, 62 stability. Nothing wrong with that. And when you compare it to some of the other heavy hitters, even with the depth mods, I mean, sure, it's going to trail a little bit, but it's more in line with them compared to where it started. And with Elemental Cap, you get +20 AE on Strand. And if you have that with In-Flight Compensator and Icarus Grip, and then like Perfect Float, it gets to like 90 AE. There is a good PvP hand cannon in here with various routes, but it has to land. And to close for the Crucible section, when it does land, again, it does compete. But the issue is, with the weapons that players already have, out of the box, they're ready to rock. And I mean, a direct just comparison, another 140 Strand is Kept Confidence. Flat out better, in my opinion. And side note, Kept Confidence is one of the most slept on and forgotten about 140s. I have no idea why, because it was the first weapon, or the first run of weapons to get deterministic recoil, and its recoil is perfect. And if you went a route like mine, it's Killing Wind, Eye of the Storm, Small Bore Acolyte. So 72 range, 70 stability. And then when you get Killing Wind up, it goes to 92 range, 70 stability. And then all the bonuses from Eye and Killing Wind as far as handling. Hitting just under 39 meters, yeah, it clears better devils. And this is just one example. That's just a direct Strand 140 comparison. We're not even going to get into Palindrome or Truth or Rose. But a lot of you don't have all the weapon rolls or good rolls of those weapons. And if Better Devils lands, you could work with it. It's got to be a 5 out of 5. From there, you need to flat out love it. Because certain perks can squeeze everything out of it, but most aren't going to be bothered, and I get that because it is outclassed by what they already have. PvE-wise can be easily looked over, but when you look at it, check out this roll. Now, I don't have the masterwork, the barrel, the magazine where I want it. This happens to be a combination roll. I could use various things, multiple perks and slots. On a Strand hand cannon, we have Demo Frenzy and we have Pugilist Frenzy. Just in general, in PvE, Demo Frenzy, Pugilist Frenzy, it's a sought-after perk combination. Because with Frenzy, 15% more damage, 100 reload, 100 handling, it is fast. It is good. As you're getting kills easier, you're getting 10% or 11% enhanced of your grenade or melee. Only 4 hand cannons have this. Better Devils, Something New, Warden's Law, Word of Crota. So it's the only Strand 140. And as far as Pugilist Frenzy, hand cannon wise, only this and Something New. And where it gets even more special, the only other Strand primary in the game with this is Rufus. It has Demo Frenzy. And as far as Pugilist Frenzy, it's Rufus and the full auto sidearm from that raid. And secondarily, I have this combo roll like Pugilist Explosive Payload, The only weapon in the game with this combo. And things that do have demo frenzy, like these combinations, a lot of the time they're not going this route. Like on Bane, you want Incandescent, Tarnished Metal, Volt Shot. But with this season, I mean, hand cannons are Overload, Overcharge hand cannon. It's Strand, we have Threaded Blast. A lot of Strand builds involve the melee and grenade. Like, it's downright nasty with Metaiodoxia, the new Warlock chest. I'm going to cover this later on down the line. Defeat targets with a needle, they suspend. Landing multiple needles on the same target immediately triggers a larger, more powerful detonation. And when you defeat suspended targets, you get melee energy. It's also good against barrier. So I'm using Demolitionist Frenzy because I want the demo to eat the grenade so I get my suspend build going. Powered melee final blows are Unraveling. They're giving Unravel rounds to the Better Devils because it's on the Strand kit. We're dropping Tangles, and with destroying Tangles, we have Threaded Blast, and then everything that Tangle hits, damaging targets with a Tangle grants melee energy with another fragment. Like, it is legit perfect, because the Better Devils within this little machine of a build, one thing's relying on another, getting the nade back faster with demo, enhanced demo for more if I wanted to. Again, I want to get higher stats before I just go all in on it, but if not, I will be enhancing all of this. But the Unravel rounds with all the suspend and Threaded Blast explosions with even more suspend and getting the needles back, it is great. It is a good weapon to have, and like the Titan has a new Wishful Ignorance. I haven't messed with it yet, but I will pretty soon. Better Devils is going to get paired. You get 2 melee charges, pulses from Banner of War, return melee energy depending on the number of allies around, but Pugilist Frenzy or Pugilist Explosive Payload, that can fit there as well. But anything that is ability based, you have Demo Frenzy, Pugilist Frenzy, and that expands well beyond Strand into Solar and Prismatic, whatever. It's just that it being Strand and you getting Threaded Blast and Unravel rounds, you have the fast reloads, you have the more damage, you get the more energy. It's really good, and these two combinations, I feel that if it was on a seasonal weapon, let's say Better Devils was a part of this Vex season and it was Strand, it has the things that it has, a lot would be all over it. And PvE players know the power of Demo Frenzy and Pugilist Frenzy. It's top shelf S tier stuff. And with it being Strand, again, all those things come in of Unravel rounds, the Tangle, Threaded Blast. Legit great. Loving it. It would be widely used if it was widely available, but it's not. It's in the Crucible. And again, if you do want this combo, just play in focusing. Hope for drops. And as far as PvE, of course, there's things like Hatchling and even things like Reconstruction One for All. Not terrible. Pretty good. I honestly do wish it wasn't in PvP. I wish it was either a Vanguard reward or a seasonal weapon, but its place is here. It is in PvE. And in the Crucible, it has some nostalgia. It needed more of a stat bump to be even really considered. And when you do land, it does compete. And in the end, it's all about feel. It's all about builds. Where does it fit in for you? And for most players, it will fit right into PvE builds. It's going to see heavy usage from me in PvE with Strand builds and Prismatic builds. It is perfect right now. And as for you, that's going to be up for you to decide. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Better Devils down below. I do love this weapon. I've always loved this weapon, even in the beta. Back when this was a 4-shot in the Crucible, everybody was using it because at that time, that's what we had. And we did the best that we could with what we had. But with the complete change of Strand and the things they placed on it, pretty clever choice how they did that. I just wish that it wasn't behind the Crucible. But let's talk about it down below. What are your thoughts? What are your favorite roles? What do you think about it? Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.